our government invited the Handover Fair to have a handover outside Germany in Singapore.
Oh, great.
And so this has now become a regional conference and exhibitions,
Wow.
right? So I think we have been doing it for the last 4 to 5 years. So Singapore has always been seen as a hub in terms of technologies, in terms of understanding technology, in terms of early adopters of technologies. And also we are very sensitive to all these business changes, right, around the world, because we perceive ourselves as a small nation in a global country, in a global landscape. So I think because of that, it forces us to be open and force us to try to adapt the best practices around the world. So we take all the practices from Europe, US, Japan, all these advanced countries. So of course, recently China has moved very fast. So we also see how can we work with Chinese, right, when they are trying to move out of the country. So I would say that for us, I think we take the best of the global practice, right? We enjoy the market of the global market. We take technology from all the place. We try to integrate them. We do whatever we can to add value on it, right? So you talk about why Singapore still emphasize the manufacturing become a very critical part of our GDP. In fact, the last 30, 40 years, we have about more than 20% of GDP in manufacturing. There's a reason we do it. The main reason is if you have a strong manufacturing activities, it's not only the manufacturing itself. Actually, manufacturing have a very good multiplier effect. Because there are many businesses who try to support the factory. Services, supplies, human resource, trainings. Yes. So our government is still want to hold on these 20% or even more than that to ensure that we will be constantly in touch with the global so-called economy, right? So I think this is where our government have put a lot of emphasis policies in terms of helping the manufacturing community. How can they move faster, right? And we inject a lot of resources. We give them the money. Okay, if you want to try something new, okay, government will fund you, but we don't fund you all the way. After you're successful, you have to learn something and you skill up yourself. Well, government play a role in terms of supporting, and we try to create a business environment allow them to thrive. I think that's where the government play a part. Yeah.
So if, we have a lot of clients both in US and China, they all manufacture, they all try to be smart. Is there any way we can have them benefit from with advanced technology Singapore company already developed? I mean, obviously, this is something so good, but it's very hard to match the resources. There are other companies who want it, but these are local where to look. And Singapore already developed, but I'm sure they have a hard time to reach out, to US, to China. So is there anything we can do for that?
Yeah, so I would say that since the globalization started in year 2000, until now, I think still intact. I'm not so sure the next couple of years what will happen. I would say that all the manufacturer, wherever you are, I think you need a good supply chain. As I say, that not all the country or not all the company can manufacture everything. So it's a matter of how to integrate the best part at the lowest cost at the highest qualities. So I think a lot of business middlemen can play a role. So for instance, somebody have maybe very good ideas, maybe from Europe or US, but they say, yeah, I have a good idea in terms of this product, in terms of able to improve people's life with the lower cost, with the most intelligent.
Safety too.
Yeah. But then I don't have resources in terms of manufacturing. So I think this is where the middleman can play a part, right? Get a concept and see how to put all these players together to form ecosystems, and eventually it's a finished product. So I think the middleman, maybe like yourself, play a major role in terms of understand the supply side and demand side, and how to integrate them with proper transparency, with proper business practice. The end goal is to bring the best product to the market. So I think this is where business like yourself can play a very critical role, because sometimes manufacturing company, they're so busy manufacturing the product, they may not understand what is the need of other regions, right? And those people have very good business idea, very creative mind coming out with good product, but then they say, yes, this what I can do, but I can't do manufacturing, right? So I think the ecosystem, that's why I say the ecosystem is very important. By understanding the ecosystems, by understanding what's the best of each part, but how to put them together to optimize it in terms of cost, in terms of quality, in terms of safety, in terms of maybe IP, things like that. I think that's what some of the so-called what I call it broker or integrator, business integrator, I think they can play a very important role.
When would be the next good trade show for this type of promotion? Is that here?
What is it, the favorite trade show?
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
I think in the past, a lot of times trying to visit trade show in US, Europe, but now I think we see a lot of good trade show is happening in Asia, right? That's like in China. Yeah. Singapore is one of the hub that people put a lot of the good conference and exhibition here. Basically, I think Singapore is being very easy to access country, right? You can.
Yesterday we landed so quick.
Yeah, so it's very efficient. Very efficient. Of course, when the cost is a bit high, but if you look at the benefit and the cost, I think it's still worth it. Yeah, so we will see still a lot of things happening in Singapore, the trade show, conference, exhibition, collaboration, or even a lot of this innovation hub will be in Singapore. As Singapore government actually encourage that. We put in a lot of effort to attract them in, to ensure they are in a good environment, able to thrive, right? So I think that's what we can do. Yeah.
So you still think the best show is in Asia?
I would say that if you look at in terms of the economic growth, in terms of the maybe purchasing power, I think Asia is start to see in a way that become a very important market, right? So you always want to showcase your product that close to the customer, right? So I think other than, I think in the past in the Europe, US, Japan, probably they are the center of attractions. But I think we are seeing that the Asia being shifted towards a maybe more important role the next maybe 10, 20 years, or even 30 years. Because I think you look at a lot of these Asian countries, they have very young population, well educated, so they will actually move into the middle class. So as you know that GDP a lot of the time is driven by middle class. So this is where I think that a lot of these manufacturer or maybe those people who want to sell the product and services, they find that maybe Asia is the next region that they want to put their effort in. Yeah.